Oh, we live.
It's we're on air right now.
All
All
right.
right, well, welcome to Captain's Podcast episode 2. And apparently we're going to be talking about the places we live
Yeah,
and,
GRF at
and,
the US.
and what's happening around us and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Mm.
All right. So what I understand, we have 2 users from San Diego.
Yes. I'm one, and the other is X2M Nerdy Gamer.
Yep. I'm from Denver, and Queens right there is from North Carolina.
Yeah. Mario. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's Mario. I'm right. Wait, I'm Queens. I'm right. Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
your
must.
username. Your username says Queens now.
oh, no. Okay. Oh, okay. That's why. That's why they count. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm Mario. By the way, I'm Mario. You guys who are watching this. Yeah, I'm gonna say use my other YouTube account, but yeah, this is Mario speaking. You guys.
All right. So first topic I want to get into, and I know this topic is bullshit, but I thought it would be interesting to bring up this proposition made by some people that want to split the state of California.
Oh, do not split the freaking place. It's
I
nothing
agree.
but gerrymandering. It's like you look at the map. It's so obviously gerrymandering because they want like Northern California to like include Los Angeles County just because it votes more Democratic because it's just a bunch of idiots trying to make it try to make it as much as possible, get as much red as possible together so that they could possibly get a bunch of electoral votes for the GOP. So they want to have like Orange County, San Diego County, Riverside County, and all, but they would go like way up north to like Fresno as well, just because that's also pretty red, even though like it's nothing but this stupid plot to gerrymander a whole state. Like why while you're at it, like if that's the case, why aren't there plans for there to like split Texas into two different states? Like have the whole area around like the Rio Grande River and like including like El Paso, Laredo, and Brownsville, places like that. How about you make that its own state so that we could get more Democratic votes? Like the point is, I mean, you don't need to split states. We just need to do away with the electoral college system because it makes any presidential votes feel meaningless depending on which state you live in, and you have to like live in like Ohio or Virginia or places like that just to make to feel like any weight
Balance.
to your vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on the
And I
electoral.
think that a lot of people just feel disinterested in voting as a result of this. That's what makes just the disasters possible, like what happened in 2016.
Yeah, I agree. Like one alternative I have for the electoral college was there's this. I found this one map that splits the U.S. into 13 different regions by population,
Mhm.
and they're roughly the same size. So basically, what would happen here is that whichever if they win 7 or more regions, they'd win, and if they
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said before, I totally agree with Sandy. It is total. Not only is it total BS, but like you said, the whole gerrymandering thing, all that stuff, and it's not even just that. It's just I bet it's not even just regarding political. I bet it's like way more than something way more than that. But yeah, it's not gonna happen.
yeah,
They've already done this like 6 or 7 times already, and it's not gonna happen again.
like I know some people complain about the higher taxes, but in that case, I mean, Nevada is not too far away, and I heard Nevada is actually
Well,
pretty lenient on taxes.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this in my last stream, Jacqueline, the one I did on my birthday. That's the one that kind of started the whole like political conversation on my hangout.
Oh, yeah, I left that stream early because it was just getting too negative.
Yeah, but fun fact about that stream, Jacqueline, it was interesting. A person I know, person I know in real life joined the stream. E Money, the E Money person, he joined, and I was like, and And then he's like, "Who is he?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my friend. You know, we know each other from college or whatever." I was like, "Oh, okay." It was different because I was like, I didn't see him the hangout link. He just had to find out the hangout link and he just joined. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my whole thought about this California being to like, what are there, 3 different states? Captain said like
Yeah.
3. Like, how would they split? How do you divide it to 3 different states? Like, how would you guys do that?
Another thing is that where are the abbreviations going to be? It can't be at NC and at SC because that's already for North and South Carolina.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try really hard to find out the abbreviation for that. But there are some abbreviations for this state, like they could use like SCA, SCA, and NCA. But you know that I don't know that'll work.
Yeah, if
that were to happen,
I know.
Which I
and if that were to happen, they'd have to get to do away with the whole 2-letter abbreviations. They have to do with that for all the states.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they were supposed to break it into the whole like in 3, 4, 5. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
3 states? Because what would you like? The NorCal, SoCal, Central Cal? Like, would you do like that?
Yeah, it is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Yeah, they really need to just split. To get rid of the electoral college system because it's outdated at this point. It was conceived back during the days of the founding fathers before it was easier for more people to get involved in the public vote. Like it took like 30 years before they even had an election in which the popular vote counted for anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like I said, I totally agree. I mean, and I've actually read about the whole electoral college and all. Like, I go on this site called Reddit. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but
Reddit's pretty popular.
Yeah, when I go on the politics side section, there's a lot of people that keep talking about, especially within this generation or ours or so, that talk about that they definitely need to get rid of the electoral college because just like Jacqueline said, there's like depending on where you live, your vote is not going to count, and even if you constantly vote over and over.
Yeah.
And that some states are worth more. Like they said that some smaller states are worth more than some of the bigger ones.
True.
Like here, one of the common arguments for and I could kind of see what they're saying from the right is that the problem with doing a popular vote system is that cities would get too much representation over the rural areas. But the problem with that is that a lot of even the swing states are actually very democratic leaning. So actually, the electoral college, believe it or not, is actually better for the Democrats than the Republicans. Because even Texas
has never been an election in which a Democrat lost the popular vote but won the electoral college. It's always gone to the Republicans.
And I know
it just always has. I mean, the nature of the two parties has been different over the past several years, but whenever a political party lost the overall election despite winning the popular vote, it's always the Democratic Party. Like Rutherford B. Hayes did not win the popular vote. Benjamin Harrison did not win the popular vote. George W. Bush did not win the popular vote in 2000. And Donald Trump did not win the popular vote in 2016.
Yeah. Which makes, I mean, with Trump, it was kind of obvious he wasn't going to win the popular vote, but like he split the electoral college chose him.
Well, the electoral college has favored Republicans historically, but what I'm saying is in the future, I think the electoral college is actually going to favor the Democrats because Texas, they said Texas may actually start to go at purple now because there's a higher Hispanic population there. It's actually
that's what I've been thinking, but I mean, it's still voted pretty heavily for Trump in 2016.
Yeah, I know. Ted Cruz
it's not really that close. I think it'll get closer and closer as time moves on. Like it'll continue to get bluer and bluer in the same way Southern California, like San Diego County and Orange County have gotten more and more Democratic over the years because of the increase of the Hispanic population and the way they've been, the political issues have just matured to the point where Hispanics have more of a reason to side with one party versus the other.
Yeah, because because Ted Cruz, another Republican, is from Texas, So
let's see. But other than Texas, a lot of the states in the top of 14 to 15 are pretty Democrat to purple. Like Florida's purple, New York is blue, Pennsylvania's pretty purple.
Yeah, Pennsylvania went red last election, which was
yeah.
Yeah, but
I was shocked that Michigan and Wisconsin went red.
Yeah,
it's like Michigan and Wisconsin voted for Trump, but Orange County in California voted for Hillary Clinton by a fairly large amount. And Orange County has not voted for a Democrat since 1936. Like they voted for Barry Goldwater in 1964 even. And that was a blowout in favor of LBJ.
Yeah, that was the guy
I think the reason why he was able to win this because he appealed to more of these Rust Belt people, like blue collar people, which aren't there aren't too many of them in California.
Well, not like that's not really the type of populist base you have in a place like Orange County, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I think Orange County has sort of a libertarian kind of lean to it because I mean it's mostly just like rich old money Republicans with, I mean, you have definitely a strong social conservative base, like you have Saddleback Church and everything, but I mean, on the other hand, the working class it's more like Hispanics basically, and somewhat of a Vietnamese population as well, but it isn't like working class redneck whites at all.
Yeah, it's not like the Midwest or like the Deep South.
No.
Yeah,
no. Even San Diego County has somewhat of a base of that. Like we have East County, like cities like Santee, El Cajon, Lakeside, which isn't a city but it's a big community. Those places all voted very solidly for Trump, in contrast to the rest of the county, which was very, very pro Clinton.
Yeah, like I could see San Diego vote for Clinton because you guys are like more.
I'm actually kind of surprised that San Diego, despite being closer to the border, is not as diverse, even with the Hispanic population as Los Angeles is, despite the fact that Los Angeles is further north.
Yeah, it is pretty ironic. I mean, to be fair, the South Bay part of San Diego, meaning like the area like literally right next to the border, that is primarily Hispanic, but
like San Ysidro.
Yeah, San Ysidro, Chula Vista,
National City.
Yeah, National City, Barrio Logan, places like that. Those have a lot of Hispanics, but
isn't that where Nick Cannon's from? Like, National.
He's from Southeast, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, cause he say he grew up like he grew up like in some project in Southeast.
Yeah.
By the way, how much have you been around your state? Have you been in California?
Me? I went to the Bay Area once, but for the most part, it's all just been just Southern California. Like most, like if I go north, it's usually to Orange County. I've been a little bit up to Los Angeles County as well, and we've done things in Riverside County as well. I haven't really visited San Bernardino County as much. There isn't quite as much to do there.
Isn't that where isn't that the porn capital of the world? San Bernardino.
The porn capital of the world?
Oh, porn. All right, San Bernardino.
Porn capital.
Yeah. I thought that'd be L.A.
It's actually.
Wait. San Bernardino's the porn capital?
I heard, yeah, because it was a ex porn star who became a Christian. She talked about that San Bernardino's like one of the most. It's like known for like have a lot of people in the porn industry.
Oh.
So what about you, Nerdy?
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
What about you, Nerdy? How much have you explored around California?
Well, for me, just for this day alone, the only part that's the highest I've gone to so far is LA,
Yeah.
practically. Like I skipped over Riverside and Orange County and been to LA, but that's because, like I said, I don't know if I told you guys before, but I have family that lives up there, so we've gone up to visit them over the years and all. Lately we haven't seen them lately because they've been busy and all, and we haven't had the time or the money just to go up and see them. But I have visited them all up there lately, and some of them live in like parts of LA. Like I think some of them live in Inglewood, I think, and then
Oh,
there's
nice.
other and there's like other cities or in LA they also live in. But like I said again, it's been years. It's been the last time we went to go see my family up in LA. It was like a few years ago, and it was for my great grandma's memorial.
Nice.
We all met up. We all went to meet up because she had passed away, and we went to
Oh,
celebrate her memory, and and we
wow.
all united for a second, and that was like the last time. It was good, but that was the last time we saw them.
Wow.
And then that's the only highest I've gone to, and then other times I've gone to LA or it's like Anaheim, it's like Disneyland and Universal Studios. I haven't really been anywhere beyond that, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully, I will plan to go much. I will plan to explore this state a lot more in the future, but I gotta have money for that first.
Yeah, I know.
Or
Yeah,
the Bay Area.
yeah. Because when I first met Nerdy,
Like over to the Bay Area or the Tahoe.
oh, you still there?
What happened?
Oh, Captain was saying
Like, so, are you like planning on like the Bay Area or the?
What was the question?
he said like would
So
you
like,
want
are
to
you
were you
like are
planning
you
to live
actually
like
planning on visiting
Frisco and stuff like that, Bay Area?
Well, not just
and
Frisco,
Lake
but like
Tahoe?
the whole state, because there's a lot in California people can actually do. There's a lot, and especially considering that it's one of the largest states in the entire country. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do, a lot to eat at, a lot to go to, a lot. You can go to places like you can go hiking, you can go fishing, you can go see a sports game, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So
Sequoia
nice.
National Park there.
Do we have a national park?
Well, there's the City National Park.
Sequoia.
Yeah.
Sequoia.
Oh.
But yeah, about my state, I was well. The interesting about me, I actually moved. I live in North Carolina, you guys. But by my username, Queens Kid, you guys can kind of tell, that I have some connection with Queens. Actually, the borough of New York City. I'm actually born there. I lived there till I was about 11. So I spent like literally half my life here. Like it's crazy. I thought it was like half my life ago. And like so I'm familiar I'm familiar up and down the East Coast. As far as like my state, I've been to like, all the like big cities in North Carolina, like Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro. I haven't been to the mountains yet, but I heard it's pretty nice in like the Appalachia area. But yeah, it's a nice state. A lot of transplants, so it's affordable. So if you're from like New York or like LA, North Carolina is pretty affordable, but it's not. But it's still kind of developing. It's not as established as those cities because it's like new. Like the cities in here are like still kind of new and still like developing, and it's
Mic working?
huh? Are we saying, Captain?
Is your mic working?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, you hear me, Captain?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just break.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, yeah, but like, it's but yeah, it is
All right.
pretty different, because it's in the, thing about North Carolina, being that's in the Bible Belt, it can like turn some people off, if you have to be more liberal, it can turn some people off because it's not as religious as like Mississippi or Alabama, but like you still have to like you still have some of those people who are Bible dumpers. You still see some of them, and like some like the rural areas, but like in the cities, it's more like progressive, like it's more progressive and stuff.
Actually, I heard North states that are moving, but people to move to it. The top states that people are moving to.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we are yeah, it has gotten progressive. We actually voted for Obama in '08. Fun
Yeah.
fact. We actually voted for Obama in '08. Fun fact about that. Yeah. But yeah, that's about my state. And it's definitely nice state to visit. The beach, the mountains. Definitely nice state. Okay, what about you, Captain?
Well, in Colorado, the better areas are in the western part of the state, like there's some national parks and some national forests. I believe Rocky Mountain National Park. It's also very detailed. Like there's where you could take green ride.
Yeah, yeah. Because I know you live. Aren't you like 20 minutes from Denver? Like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh,
about that's about.
yeah. How's Denver? Yeah, how much is Denver? Is it like a booming city? Is not a lot of people moving in?
Uh, Den- Denver is pretty identical to your average rich city to a like. I mean, it's a very progressive city, and they're doing very well. There's a lot of people moving. I mean, it's pretty expensive, but it's also very turned out and stuff. Cars. A lot of people are trying to get rail and stuff, and they've actually been building a lot of stuff there.
Yeah,
Going on there.
nice. Yeah, I'd like to visit Denver. Yeah, because it seems pretty nice. It seems nice. It seems like a city if you're like into like nature. It seems like a good nature city. Like into hiking and stuff.
Yeah, even though if you do plan on a visit to be the track, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Hmm.
Have a can here.
Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we hear
Yeah.
you. We hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say something about Colorado as a whole. Ever since you guys got marijuana legalized, how has that been?
Well, I know there's a lot of people moving in there since then. Then particularly millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Totally a big place for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Washington.
Oh yeah, Washington State.
Like,
Mm.
yeah, we could become sort of like of the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Now about that, has it been like since it's been legalized? I think it's been legalized for at least 6 years, I believe, at this point. But has it been like good for the most, or has it been like bad for the most?
I believe for the economy, I've actually heard one thing saying that crime has gone down since it's been legalized. I personally think it should be legalized there. You guys there?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm here.
All right.
So,
Just making sure.
yeah, your microphone keeps cutting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what are some since since Jacqueline and Mary lives in San Diego, what are some like how can I say this? Like what's some things about San Diego that a lot of people don't know about?
Well, there's, I guess, probably number one is there is more to us than just Ron Burgundy. Like, people
Also,
forget just how big
I've been to San Diego
Diego
once.
is.
My memory of it is this place called Old Town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Old
we are.
Town.
Yeah, we are actually known for that because Old Town was just like this. It's like this huge attraction that a lot of people attend like every day, or not every day, but it's like one of these huge attractions. And it used to be a town practically back then, and now it's called practically Old Town. But yeah, it's like one of the huge attractions that we have here. And then another thing is that I was actually going to mention this in the first one when it was about San Diego, is that every year we actually have a fair called the Del Mar or the San Diego County Fair, which
Yeah,
is
it's
very
going on right
popular to
now.
attend. It's going on right now, and it ends on the 4th of July. But it's a popular fair that everybody attends like every year. It's kind of like Universal Studios, like it has its own rides and all that kind of stuff. So it's practically fun, like like Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's nice. So what about
And
Darren?
then I was gonna also mention that where I live, not really where I live, but I have friends live in this area. But we have this big mountain that's called Coles Mountain, and people be hiking up there every other day.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Captain. Oh well, about where I live at. Again, I live in a small town, but like I'm like few out. I'm like close to all the big cities, and
Hey guys, I just got on my
Hey guys,
my phone. The audio quality wasn't working on my laptop. It's still live on my laptop.
What the?
I just got on my phone, so it's see.
You echoing? You're echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try it. See, what did you guys bring up?
Oh, so I was gonna say that like so where I live at things about I live near the big cities, so like but like my I'm kind of closer to the Charlotte area because like all my TV stations are like based in Charlotte, so Charlotte's kind of like it's kind of like it's like the largest city in the state. It has it's known for Bank of America. It's known for Billy Graham. It's known for Billy Graham. It's known for NASCAR. The Charlotte Hornets. Yeah. Steph Curry's from there.
Which team in North Carolina gets a lot more gets seen the most? Is it the Carolina Panthers, the Hornets, or the team or that baseball team? I'm trying to think of the name already. I can't even remember for some reason.
Well,
Yeah, there's the Carolina Panthers and the Hornets, and this is the baseball team I'm already forgetting for some reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Baseball. I think we do have a team now, but because for a while North Carolina was known for like having a minor league team, but now I think they have a major league team now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure, but we even have a hockey team, which is crazy because it doesn't snow that much. It doesn't even snow that much here, but yeah, that's some things. And then you got Raleigh, which is the capital of North Carolina, which is it's a lot smaller than Charlotte, but it's known for its triangle. The center is known for like tech, so like a lot of inventions were made in like the tech, the triangle. Like the cell phone was actually, the first cell phone was actually invented in North Carolina. The first cell phone, ISBM.
The captain's on here twice.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain, you cloned yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, because the audio quality on my laptop wasn't working.
Yeah, you literally cloned yourself because you're echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
By the way,
this.
this is totally trivial, but um, George Bush Sr. is the very first president to make it to 94 years of age.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, yeah, he's
Wow.
still alive. He was
Oh,
born
he's still-
June 12th, 1924.
Yeah, his wife just passed away.
Yeah,
Like a month ago, right?
yeah, yeah, and he almost passed away in the aftermath because of the heartbreak effect, which took the life of Debbie Reynolds as well. But
Wow.
yeah, he's really been around for quite a while. It's pretty interesting how it's like there have been like 4 consecutive presidents who have been like the longest lived presidents ever. Because
Yeah.
because first Ronald Reagan broke John Adams' old record of 175 years by making it above 90. And then Gerald Ford lives a teeny bit longer than Ronald Reagan. And now both George Bush Sr. and Jimmy Carter have broken that record.
Yeah. Nice. So Kev, so yeah, since oh yeah, I know Jacqueline. Since you say you have family from the East Coast, what are some differences you know from like East Coast and West Coast?
Well, I mean, most people will tell you that the people are super different. I when I was in college, I was kind of in my own little world. Like I wasn't talking to many people. It was a hard time in my life, but I would say the East Coast is it's more blunt, really.
Yeah.
Like people are more solemn. They aren't as loose, which has people have the stereotype that people on the East Coast are meaner and people on the West Coast are nice, but I feel like that's kind of relative. I feel like
It depends where.
there's sort of a down to earth genuineness that I find welcoming on the East Coast, whereas on the West Coast there's sort of just this backstabbing shallowness that pervades a lot of the culture. Like people will probably just try to talk to you like, oh yeah, we're all happy and hang loose and whatever, but after that they'll probably just like not invite you to something or unfriend you or just do some sort of dick thing. Like there's just a lack of responsibility and respect, I guess, so to speak.
I know, yeah, and then I guess it depends where you live in the Central Coast because I know like because I know I grew up in me being up and down the East Coast. It definitely changes once you get around Virginia. That's when you start to see a shift between going from like that whole like urban northeastern, the typical East Coast, to where it's more like down to earth, more warm and like southern hospitality. That's where it all shifts around like Virginia,
Yeah.
And then because where I live at, once you get to like Virginia, like that's where it all changes. That's where it goes from like this whole fast pace, life to where it's goes like slow and
Yeah, I have no idea how to describe the South because on one hand, it has a reputation for being ultra polite. Like people will say yes sir and yes ma'am, and there's sort of an elegance to that. But on the other hand, the area just has this unfortunate history with virulent like racism and other kinds of bigotry.
Yeah.
Like it feels hard for me to get a true handle on just what the character of the South is. I mean, part of the problem, I guess, it's just I don't live in the South. I've never lived in the South. I've rarely been to the South. I feel like I'm mostly exposed to the South really from articles about racism and homophobia more than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. But me kind of being up and down the East Coast, that's nothing. East Coast, West Coast. The West Coast is just the West Coast. There's like no North and South division really. But the East Coast, you got the Northeast, like Maine to about like Pennsylvania. Then you got like the Mid Atlantic, which is like Delaware and Maryland, and New Jersey, and then you got the South Atlantic, which is from like Virginia, Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Then you got Florida, which is like the further south you go, the further north you are. It's like the most ironic state in the world. It's an ironic
It's
state.
more the other way around when you're in Florida. The further north you go, the more south it gets. Because I wouldn't exactly describe Miami as
Yeah.
north per se, unless you're comparing it to, yeah, I don't know. No, it's not north. Miami isn't the same as like Boston.
Yeah, I guess it's north too. I guess it's north because it has a lot of Cubans and stuff like it's like Puerto Rican and stuff.
Yeah, it's
you know?
mostly Cubans out there. I think.
Yeah, it mostly has a Latin vibe to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
I mean, it's like the fact that it's like less than 100 miles from the Cuban coast.
Yeah, but like, yeah, the West Coast again. I haven't been again. That's one place I got to visit. You know, furthest west I've been so far is Kansas City. But like, what I hear from the West Coast is that it is more open minded. It is creative. Like a lot of new social trend, like a lot of things that become a lot of trends start from the West Coast, like Starbucks, Microsoft, a lot skateboarding, like a lot of trends that we think that are like that are like cool. Starting the West Coast is known for like selling.
Yeah, the West Coast. Yeah, I think that the East Coast has more of culture and heritage of the past, like the history. Like that's where we had like the founding fathers, the founding of the nation, and everything. Like there's a richer history to that. Whereas the West Coast is like the new frontier. It has this mentality of the future, basically.
Yeah. And what about the Rockies? Since you live in basically, I know Denver is kind of not really the Rockies, but it's kind of in that region.
Yeah, it's by
Yeah,
it's,
mountain states is what they're considered.
Yeah, mountain states. I mean, Denver is very clearly turning into a West Coast city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Like
closer to the West Coast.
It's very. The region is very diverse politically. I mean, like in the last three elections, Nevada, Colorado, and New Mexico voted Democrat, while the rest of the states voted Republican. Well, they're like pretty deep Republican, except for Arizona's not.
I think in 2004, Colorado and New Mexico voted for George W. Bush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that it was still possible for them to go red, and now they're like practically like no longer even swing states anymore because they've gotten so blue.
Yeah. So
same with Nevada. Even
Nevada's gotten bluer as well.
Yeah, and
as we're seeing, it looks like now with the way the appeal of the major political parties have changed, that Wisconsin and Michigan will be more swing states.
Yeah. What's your experience, Captain? I know you say you lived in Wisconsin before you moved to. What state you lived in before? You say you lived in Wisconsin before?
Yeah, only for about 6 months.
What's your experience?
Like we lived in a better area. The only part I remember is going to the bay. I mean, not the bay, to the lake. Yeah.
Yeah. How's the Midwest? Is it? I mean, I know I visit there. I have some experience with the Midwest, but not really much. But
well, I remember driving there being very, very boring. We had to stop at some hotels along the way.
Because I know it's like flat. It's like pretty flat.
Does Tennessee count as the Midwest?
No, Tennessee's in the south.
No, definitely not. That's Appalachia.
Yeah, that's like as far as that's like as far as
very, very different.
Yeah.
Because I was just wanted to say that's the farthest I've been outside of California. The closest I've been so far is Nevada, and then the farthest is Tennessee.
Yeah. Also, I want to bring up this state. Utah actually voted way less for Trump in the 2016 election. Like they swung the blue actually.
They didn't vote blue. What they did is they voted independent. There were a lot of Mormons who voted for this independent candidate.
Evan McMullen.
Yeah. they voted for him because
yeah.
I mean, they still didn't want to vote for Hillary Clinton, but they just did not feel comfortable voting for Trump.
Yeah, even though they actually didn't vote more for Clinton than they did for Obama.
Huh.
Yeah, but I think the Iraqis is kind of form its own identity now that because
Well, it has many identities.
Yeah,
It's-
it
it's-
really
it's actually-
does. I mean, obviously, Utah is sort of it's sort of an anomaly in that it's just like overwhelmingly Mormon. I mean, you do have a lot of Mormons as well in like southeastern Idaho. Like they have another BYU campus over there in like in Rexburg, and like I think there are a lot of Mormons at like Pocatello. And I'm pretty sure there are a fair amount of Mormons in Nevada as well. Like Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons, I think he was a Mormon.
Also, aren't the members of the Killers Mormons?
Yeah, they grew up as Mormons.
Yeah.
And so there is a bit of an axis of Mormonism around Utah, but I mean it's mostly concentrated in the state of Utah, especially around like Provo, for example.
There's actually quite a bit of Mormons here in Colorado. I mean, that's to be expected because we're right next to it.
Yeah, Colorado borders Utah. So yeah, there's definitely Mormons nearby there as well.
Yeah.
One thing that's really interesting I find about the Mormon community is there are a lot of Pacific Islanders who are Mormons.
Really?
Like, yeah, a huge percentage of Tongans and Samoans and Native Hawaiians are Mormons. Like, I think they also have a BYU campus in Hawaii.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I think that the Pacific Islands were like one of the major areas where Mormon missionaries would go and where they found a lot of success in converting. And so it's very, very common for Pacific Islanders to be Mormon. And so like I mean a lot of them live in California, but a lot of them also do live in Utah because of their Mormon faith.
Yeah.
Utah's
like people usually think of the Mormon religion as like the whitest thing in the world, but yeah, it is like basically one of the dominant religions of Pacific Islanders as well.
Like obviously Utah is a very Republican, very conservative state because of this, but they're completely seem like a different breed of conservative. Like I know quite a bit of Mormons who actually
you called yourself a captain.
I mean, there are more Mormons than seemingly than Baptists who seem approving of gays. Like they somewhat seem more liberal, even though their laws in Utah are pretty conservative.
Yeah, the laws are just extremely conservative on gay rights. It kind of feels like they lean a little more towards like, I mean, not by a whole lot, but they lean a little more towards like we tolerate homosexuality, like we're not going to beat you up for it or whatever. But at the same time, I think that more than the vast majority of other sects of Christianity, they do not want to waver on the whole allowing gay marriage thing. They just feel really, really adamant that marriage is between a man and a woman. Like, I mean, Mitt Romney, for example, he was basically like that. He was staunchly against gay marriage, but he still has expressed like that gay people should be respected at the same time.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting as to know. Are you close to Wyoming, Captain?
Yeah, we're south of it.
Yeah, Wyoming is right north, and Cheyenne is very close to the Colorado border. Not very far, actually, at all from the Denver area.
Kanye West actually went to Wyoming when he released his album.
Oh,
yeah.
Like,
Is the photo on his new album in Wyoming?
Oh no, it was actually Whitney Houston's bathroom. That was for. Oh no, wait a minute. That's Pusha T's album. Oh wait a minute. I don't even know what this album looked like actually.
Like the album Yay that looks like some 10-year-old just opened Microsoft like Paint and then just put YE over a
It might be
a
in
stock
Wyoming.
photo of mountains.
Oh yeah.
Because
Like a pretty far cry from like
His
the
earlier
legit
stuff.
artwork you had on the Graduation album. That they got like a manga artist to do that, and it was really impressive. And now just picture of the mountains,
Yeah.
and in ugly green letters, Yay.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how Wyoming's pretty. It's kind of interesting how it's like the least populated state in the whole. It's like less than a
Yeah,
million
it's
people
like
up there.
it's huge in area, but yeah, the lowest population of all 50 states. Less.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
than-
the area in Wyoming is owned by the federal government. I mean, plus not many people would live there because it's very windy there. It's actually home to Yellowstone.
Yeah, it's home to Yellowstone, and I think there's a popular ski resort there as well. There are a lot.
I think
of
it's called
ski resorts.
Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson something.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. So, do you guys have a lot of Native Americans in like the Rocky State? Like Indians are still around? Indians?
Not too many here in Colorado, but I believe there's
Yeah,
quite a bit. Like it's
they're
like
mostly
like it,
Oklahoma.
yeah, which is pretty much bordering between the West, the South, and the Midwest.
Yeah.
Actually, there are a lot of Native Americans in South Dakota, from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, the Sioux Nation, the Sioux Nation. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, the
That's
Sioux
what-
Nation.
That's where the town came from. The name of the town.
Okay,
came
Jackson.
from.
Yeah, it was Jackson, Wyoming. Yeah, it's on the western part, and it's not terribly far from Yellowstone, and it's actually kind of not that far from that place I was just mentioning, Rexburg, where you have BYU, Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where I live at, North Carolina, surprisingly has the highest Native American population in east of the Mississippi. So there's quite a few Native Americans in my town where I live at. You know, we got like Cherokees and stuff. You know, a lot of them got connections to Oklahoma. A lot of the Cherokees here because of the Trail of Tears. I don't have connections out west.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jackson, Wyoming is 80 miles away from Rexburg, Idaho.
Oh, really?
I know this is like getting super trivial, but I don't know. I kind of have a thing. I kind of enjoy using Google Maps and writing in the directions between two random cities to say like, oh, how far apart are they, or how far are they?
Yeah.
Like, oh, could you reasonably just have a casual day off driving over to that city if you live in one place, or would you have to just make a big deal of a trip? And so
One thing I find pretty fascinating politically, Arizona.
yeah,
I know
it's red.
I know it's been swinging a bit more in every election, swinging a bit more to the Democrats.
More and more.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's-
it has been solidly red over the past several elections, but I mean, politically, I think Arizona is very similar to Orange County. It has a little bit of a libertarian edge, still overall conservative.
Yeah.
Not overwhelmingly so, but yeah, maybe. But like Orange County, it could start to vote blue as the Hispanic population grows.
Yeah. That's nice. So, how far is San Diego from Los Angeles? How far is it? It's like 2
About
hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, depending on where you live, it might take less than that.
So you might be closer.
And it also depends on what transportation you take. Like by car, yes, it's 2 hours. But say if you were to take an airplane, it might take about probably like way less than that.
Like 5 minutes.
Or maybe around there, possibly about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, but like how? Yeah, but what's the difference between Diego and LA? Or is Diego more laid back and like more?
Well, I mean, Los Angeles it has its it has the film industry and all, and it's just way larger. I feel like the big difference between the two is really just that everybody knows about Los Angeles and hardly anybody knows much about San Diego unless they live there.
Yeah, I think
like
that's
San Diego gets super overlooked in things, and the fact that everybody like who doesn't live in San Diego, they just associate the place with like Ron Burgundy
or SeaWorld.
yeah.
But now they have a SeaWorld over in Orlando, so
they have one in Florida,
that's no longer superlative. And I mean, San Diego, we also do have the first Legoland in the United States, but they recently opened a Legoland in Florida as well.
Oh, I would say, isn't one in Minnesota too? I gotta look that
up.
Speaking of that, bring it into the Great Lakes states. I've actually heard the state of Michigan is starting to make a comeback. Like Michigan has been on the downward spiral all throughout this.
Yeah,
and there's the whole Flint water fiasco.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but that's pretty cool, interesting because not a lot of people talk about San Diego that much compared to like LA and even
San Francisco. San Francisco also completely overshadows San Diego, even though its population isn't as large.
Because Frisco, everybody knows about Frisco because it's like known for being like very gay friendly, like the most. It was like one of the first cities in America to accept gays, I think. Because the whole hippie movement started in Frisco, and that's how gay people got accepted there more.
I don't think there is a Legoland in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Not that I can find. No, the one in Carlsbad, California. That's the first one that opened in North America. It opened the same month that Sharks fan was born, March 1999.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but that's nice. Are you you say you've been how about Central California, like Fresno, and like is those cities like growing? Fresno, San Jose, are these cities like growing or like declining?
I mean, they're not considered the best parts of the state. They are a little poor, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about them because they're kind of out of the way and they don't get like constant media exposure like the Bay Area and Los Angeles do.
Because
I just know that Fresno is. It's generally considered one of the redder parts of California, but they've been voting slightly blue in the most recent elections again because of the strong Hispanic voter base.
Oh, nice. Because I always wondered, like, people always say NorCal, SoCal, but what about the middle? Like, what about like Fresno? Nobody talks about that.
Well, actually, the problem is I think Fresno's considered part of Northern California. Like there's a divide, there's like a dividing line between Northern and Southern California that sort of like Monterey County is like the bottom of Northern California and San Luis Obispo County is the top of Southern California, as is Kern County.
Oh, nice. So it's kind of like Jersey.
So like San Luis Obispo and Bakersfield are apparently like as far north as you can go in Southern California, and like places like Salinas or Fresno, that's like the southern part of Northern California.
Oh, okay. Now I got it. Okay.
Oh, we were
because I mean, for the most part, for the most part, from Los Angeles to the Bay Area, there is kind of a whole, or even to Fresno, there is kind of a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I think Bakersfield is a fairly sizable city that isn't too far away from LA while also being fairly close to Fresno, but otherwise, for the most part, for the most part, the middle of California, those counties are nowhere near as populated
'cause I
as
heard
the
Bakersfield.
ones in the Bay Area or in
I
Southern
heard
California.
Bakersfield. A lot of people in Bakersfield have connections to like Oklahoma because of the Dust Bowl happened.
The Dust Bowl, yeah.
Yeah, so they have connections.
Yeah, there are a lot of people from the Dust Bowl. I think a lot of them moved to like parts of Orange County or like the Inland Empire as well.
I was gonna say about because Jacqueline wasn't really much in the last live stream. We were talking a little bit about California for a second, and we mentioned about which regions in the state are like more Republican, and the first two that came up was Yorba Linda and Newport Beach.
Okay. Newport Beach is libertarian, super libertarian. Newport Beach is not socially conservative. Really, in 2008. It voted slightly in favor of abortions being allowed, and it almost voted. It voted slightly below the national average for Prop 8. So it voted yes on Prop 8, but by very little. The thing about the place is it's very rich old money. So you have a lot of people who are very fiscally conservative, but it's also more educated, and so it is very, very libertarian. It's not at all the stereotypical hardcore GOP stronghold. It's just people who think that the government should not interfere with business, but for the most part are pretty lax about social issues. So like Newport Beach, that's like prime libertarian area. Yorba Linda, on the other hand, that is pretty darn conservative. Yeah. Like Newport Beach, it's very rich and wealthy. It's more suburban, but unlike Newport Beach, it's perhaps because it's inland and you don't have as many young people, you have far more of the family values evangelical crowd who lives there.
Oh,
not
really?
not just like rich business owners, but more like the people who are just like old like suburbanite nuclear family, whatever.
Because I know.
Yorba Linda voted very overwhelmingly against gay marriage and abortion in 2008. It was one of the highest percentages yes on Prop 8 in 2008. So like basically on par, like as conservative as like the more populist cities that have like a lot of Hispanics who voted for Obama but voted more conservatively on abortion and gay marriage.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as that concerned, Newport Beach, I would say that is definitely libertarian. Yorba Linda is definitely a very conservative city on an overall level. However, I would really say that if you really want an overall like solid example of a conservative area in California, I would definitely say Bakersfield. Kern County in general is like it's the reddest county in California that has like a large population that isn't just rural all around. Like Bakersfield is a pretty large city, and it does have a fairly large Hispanic population that votes blue, but it is extremely Republican otherwise. So I would say I would definitely point to Bakersfield as like the epitome of conservatism in California versus like San Francisco being very Democrat.
Yeah.
And you could say that again because I had a friend who attended. He had moved to Bakersfield so he could attend. I think a university. I think it was called Bakersfield, I believe. Huh. And he attended a university in that area, and he had a difficult time just even being there because of the culture surrounding it, like he said, because he already told me it was a small town and that people were just like creepy, being all crazy, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he didn't feel like but I mean, he only went to school over there, so he didn't have a good time at all. Like people were just going on. People were just like all on him and all that.
But
it was just
Well, was he black or Hispanic or a minority?
He's Hispanic.
Oh,
okay, yeah, and what did he feel like there was just an element of racism there?
Yeah, I believe. I mean, I haven't spoken with him in a while, but he did tell me about that too.
Wow.
By the way, we were talking about this in the previous stream. Nerdy said this too, but I mentioned that even despite being around Hispanics here in Denver, I'm having trouble learning Spanish.
Yeah.
You mentioned this.
Yeah.
Did you, Nerdy?
Yeah. It is interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, because Bakersfield, Cook said, the reason why I was concerned is because of Oklahoma Dust Bowl. Like a lot of people from there are like descendants from like the Okies in the 30s. Like descendants from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like but speaking of, since you're talking about conservative racism, isn't like the western part of I know like the people say the South's racist, but isn't like the western states like the mount like Idaho and Idaho and stuff, places like that.
I think maybe Idaho.
I'm not sure.
It's not like
I don't think it's. What is the audio coming from?
I think it's Nerdy.
Oh. What happened? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's some racism, but it's nowhere near as much of a problem as it is in Dixie. I mean, Dixie has its legacy of slavery, and it's just a different culture. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
actually heard it's gotten pretty bad in the Rust Belt.
I think the problem with areas like Idaho and Wyoming is that they are extremely white, and so there just aren't very many racial minorities in general. So there isn't as much of a culture for. On one hand, there's racism in that people who live in there are bubbled out, and they don't really understand the diversity as much. Like when diversity comes in, it's something they have to accustom themselves to, and they might be a little resistant. But on the other hand, they don't have like this really vile backlash to socially diverse working class, like is the case. That's why the South is so racist, is because
of slavery and
white trash competing against struggling minorities.
Because I was about to say, skinheads like a problem, like because I hear like it's like kind of like in Western states, like
I've actually gotten pretty bad in the Rust Belt.
Yeah, the skinhead. Yeah, because I know
like Ohio and Michigan, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because of how that area voted so heavily for Trump.
Yeah, but
if Wisconsin voted for Trump, but Orange County, California voted for Clinton, that just speaks volumes, I think.
Yeah,
I've actually heard one statistic saying they've looked up searches of the N-word and said it's been the highest in the Rust Belt, like in Ohio. Like more people there than in those states than any other state.
Yeah, because
I won't like with the spelling that's usually associated with the offensive use versus the spelling use that's usually passed around African Americans themselves.
Yeah.
Like saying nigger, rest of the good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Travis, because Travis said something interesting. Travis, remember Travis, the person who was on one of our hangouts, Jacqueline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he said he's from Ohio. He said his family, where he lives in Northwest Ohio. So he said that people where he lives at say the N-word a lot. I'm like, really? He said people in his area says the N-word a lot. And I'm like, wow. That blew my mind. I mean, I'm not really surprised because I know Ohio, there's some conservatism in Ohio, but like I was like, because I figured,
working class, uneducated white people.
Because I know Ohio's pretty liberal as well. Ohio's pretty. It's pretty.
No,
mixed.
It's a quintessential purple state.
It's pretty mixed.
It has a history always being the big swing state. Like,
Even though out of all the
one of
purple
the
states, I
reasons
think Ohio
why
voted
so
the
many
most for Trump.
presidents are from Ohio is because it was such a key battleground state throughout the years.
Because
Like it's like if you get Ohio, then you get the election.
because I know closer, because I know Ohio. I know there are parts of Ohio that's more like Dixie, like near like Kentucky. But he lives in a part that's near like.
Oh yeah, like Cincinnati. Cincinnati is right by the border with Kentucky. My dad grew up in Cincinnati during part of his childhood.
Yeah, and then you got parts. Then you got places like Dayton. You got places like Cleveland. Yeah, so Ohio is pretty diverse when it comes to like politics. I could say that it's
Can you
politically
hear me?
diverse. It's a pretty
Yeah, I can hear you.
it's politically
Yeah,
diverse.
my mom called me and it interrupted the call. Were you guys able to hear me about all the states that were predominantly white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bakersfield being predominantly white. Yeah.
Well, not just Bakersfield, but also like I said, Oregon, Washington.
Well,
yeah.
Bakersfield isn't as white as you think it is because it does have a very large Hispanic population that continues to grow, but that it's still regardless a very, very red county. Like there are a lot of parts of California, mostly that are inland, that have large Hispanic populations, but still have such conservative white populations that they lean red.
I think I've heard there's actually quite a few cities in California where Spanish is more spoken than English.
True, that is true. But actually, I can look that. I mean, unless Finny can say it, but I can look it up real fast.
Like I would guess Imperial County, for example, would probably vote because it's so close to Mexicali, and otherwise it's pretty much the boondocks, and the population there is overwhelmingly Hispanic.
Nice.
That is actually true because when I was looking I think it was yesterday or Sunday, one of those 2 days, I was looking at the demographics of California by each county, and Imperial County has a huge, not just a huge extent population, but yeah, I would definitely believe that Spanish is spoken more there than English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
also, so I want to bring up another state that I find fascinating politically: New Hampshire and also Maine.
Yeah. Well, New Hampshire is seen as a swing state often. Like it voted for Bush in 2000, although part of that was because of Ralph Nader. But I don't know. It's I guess there's just sort of
Maine actually split its electoral votes.
Yeah. Maine used to be part of Massachusetts. It became its own state as part of the Missouri Compromise, which you learn in your U.S. history class.
I know it's kind of interesting how Maine was part of Mass.
It's like it doesn't even border Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I mean, New Hampshire's wedged right in between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Maine is... Yeah, Maine. I heard Maine has the largest French population in the U.S. That's the largest French.
Yeah.
Well, because it's basically bordering French Canada.
Like Quebec, yeah. So it's like northern...
and like New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Like it borders New Brunswick as well. I mean, and Montreal and Quebec City. Yeah, they're closer to those states than.
Yeah, so
I heard there's a lot of older people moving to Maine, and I'm like, I wonder why that is. Because
I don't know.
I guess retiring. I guess that's the one I said.
I thought people usually retired in Florida.
Yeah, that. Well, yeah, that's true. Well, that is true. Like people, it's kind of funny. Like Florida has been like since World War II. Florida's been pretty much the retirement capital of America since World War II.
Yeah.
Well, I think that may actually be more common in recent times.
Yeah, but like, how's but have any of you guys have any experience in like Pacific Northwest, like Portland, Seattle?
I've been there.
Not quite, but I will plan to visit those states one day. I mean, Jacqueline and I are like literally below it. We could just go head up.
I've been there. I've been to I have families that lives in Bend, Oregon, so I've been there quite a bit, and I visited Portland a few times. And there was one time I went to Seattle back in the early 2000s, so I've definitely been exposed to those places.
Yeah,
I mean, it is sort of a similar culture to the Bay Area. It has its like, but like the main thing I remember is like it was very, very green, pine trees galore.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does it rain? I know. I heard Seattle rains.
It rains a lot in like Portland and Seattle. I don't think
I actually
quite
got
as
pretty
much as
lucky when I
that.
visited there. It wasn't raining at all when I went there, but I know it does rain a lot there. But I got
Like-
lucky when I visited there.
There's a lot of moss, I think, in places like Portland or Seattle.
Yeah. 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 I would like to visit. Yeah, I'd definitely like to visit Seattle, man. It seems pretty cool. It looks. Yeah. Starbucks obviously started there. Microsoft, Amazon.
There's actually not too many
Grunge.
Starbucks actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think of grunge when I think of Seattle.
Same here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Bakersfield started new metal. Yeah, you mentioned earlier.
Is
Yeah,
that where Korn's from?
Yeah, that's where Brian Welch. Yeah, your Corman is from.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so new metal started in Bakersfield. So yeah, so it does have some edge to it, I guess.
Oh, I wanted to
I
tell you guys
think that
about. I wanted to tell you guys about Seattle for a second. I had an older cousin that actually had moved up there a while back. She no longer lives there because she passed away a few years back. But when she used to be up there, she told me that when she went up there, she told me that the culture was totally different compared to here. Not just what you guys said, but also in terms of the attitude. She told me that black people up there act more civil. And then she told me that white people act more like crazy or like the ghetto-ness and all that kind of stuff. I don't know
where
if
you
that's
said
Is
true.
it Seattle or
Yeah,
where is this?
that's where she said. Yeah, in Seattle.
Yeah,
'Cause-
from what I know, there are parts of Seattle and Portland that actually are very white trash, neo-Nazi.
yeah, that's what I say. Skinheads.
Like that's
that's
like
where,
they're. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
yeah, because Portland is
again,
kind of
just-
because Portland is known for being weird. It's kind of hard to believe it has skinheads like that.
yeah, people mostly associate Portland with like hipsters.
Yeah.
Portlandia, just all the people with their flannel shirts and thick rimmed glasses who like basically like they're like put on this pedestal for being individualistic and everybody else is just being brainwashed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was very, very close to going to Lewis and Clark College, which is in Portland. Very, very stereotypical hipster
Really?
place.
So you
I'm
see,
glad I didn't go there because I would not have fit in.
Do you see
I
a lot of
thought
white
it would be
guys with
good when I
dreads?
visited the place, but I think I just thought the campus was pretty. But like, even the cafeteria when I was touring the place was like, it leaned so much towards like vegetarianism and veganism. I was just like, how would I even survive here? I'm not used to eating that many
Vegan.
veggies.
But speaking of Portland, it's Portland known for like white guys wearing dreads. White guys wearing dreads.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because I heard that's like a thing in Portland. Like that's a thing where like white guys wear dreads.
Dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that when I visited there, as well as they're also smoking weed, even though it actually wasn't legal there yet. Actually,
Oh wow. Okay,
so they were
that's
doing it
super,
illegally.
oh, that's super hippie. I can see why you didn't want to move to Portland.
Yeah, that's what Lewis and Clark College is apparently like as
Yeah.
well.
It's
And
Frisco.
I have a
also-
cousin who went to Reed College, actually. That's also in Portland. Again,
It's-
very, very hipster, like
Yeah.
weed smoking,
White people. Oh, God.
intellectual indie.
Yeah, they into the beat mix. They like be very into that. Oh man, did you experience that Frisco, Jacqueline? Had the like the hippie type of vibe.
What my
Did you experience that in San Francisco, the hippie type of vibe where
I mean,
just
I was only there briefly, like the summer 7 years ago, so I
oh,
wasn't really exposed to the culture
'cause I
that
heard
much.
San
But
Francisco, it's like just it's just like
yeah,
way out there. It's like
that's what I. That's
it's
what.
way out
Yeah,
there.
I think I can get a sense of what the place culture's like.
I
It's just.
mean,
I mean, I've definitely been surrounded by hipster kind of culture. Like there were students at my high school who were kind of like that, and there were plenty of people at college who were like that.
Is San Diego
I
a pretty
just
hipster city?
well, if you go to the North Park, like around the Balboa Park area, yes, very hipster. But on an over, I mean, most parts aren't.
yeah,
But
yeah. It
yeah,
seems more.
I have to be honest. I really big part of me kind of despises the hipster culture. I feel like it was a huge. I feel like it really threatened and hurt my self confidence actually for a while. I feel like the hipsters would do a lot to guilt me over whatever I liked. Like they would guilt me over whatever food I like to eat, like just because I'm not vegan, or they would guilt me for not listening to real music that's indie, and that's how you be enlightened. Like I listen to a lot of carefree cheesy dance pop. They would say like, oh, you're not credible if you're like that. You're listening to horrible brainwashed garbage.
That's funny to
And
hear because many of them.
just I don't know. It's just I feel like it just really gets under my skin the way they. On one hand, they try to act like they're all for diversity and like be yourself, be whatever you are. But on the other, they are just so narrowly defining what even counts as individuality that they close everything else off, and they just basically just put themselves above everybody else. I mean, I think a lot of them are like that because they're used to not being accepted themselves, like by the jocks, for example, or the queen bees. But their response is basically just to create their own cool club of people who have just their own taste, and like they think they have the right to be
Elitist title.
Yeah, just because they aren't following what's mainstream, basically. That gives them the excuse to look down upon others. And like there was all throughout college, I had a huge identity crisis. I just trying to get a firm grasp of what kind of person I was or what wanted to be, because I felt like I was pressured into liking more indie kind of things just because that's what everybody was into at my school. And I just felt more awkward embracing just the simple fun things that I grew up liking earlier. And just very slowly ever since graduating from college, I've leaned more and more and more towards just being just the cheesy ditzy little girl that I am inside, and not worrying about being indie or intellectual.
Like I see that. Yeah, you see that a lot. Not just with hipsters. We see that in the hip hop. Even in the hip hop community, you see that. Like underground hip hop. They said this is what real hip hop is. It's not that mainstream stuff. It's not that mainstream rap music. Yeah,
usually I associate hip hop elitism with people talking about the old stuff versus the new stuff.
I mean, you see that too, but like I remember back in like 2010, 2011, there was a lot of people said, "Oh, underground hip hop's where it's at." Mainstream hip.
That's what it's more like. That like that's where the focus would really be. Like people who appreciate, say, Chance the Rapper as opposed to like Tyga or Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Versus from a rock perspective, it's like the older generations, they're like, oh, you guys should be listening to the Beatles, versus newer generations who are like, oh, you should be listening to Bon Iver, and oh, you should be listening to like the Black Keys or Spoon or bands like that. You shouldn't be listening. because you shouldn't be listening to your Maroon 5 or your Camila Cabello or your whatever, because those are just corporate artists. They're processed by a controlled industry and trying to brainwash you into liking ignorant, shallow garbage. You gotta let go of that and discover yourself. You're gonna find yourself in Spoon's music. You're gonna find that the meaning of life, that every individual inside has a voice singing, I turn my camera on for you, and I'm gonna sing away and original because that makes me cool and an individual.
Oh man.
God, I really hate the indie voice. Like,
Yeah.
I like to call it the Brett Dennen voice, I guess. Like
Yeah.
what you hear in Passenger Let It Go. I think that song's okay, but I sing like this, even though it's not how anybody talks. But if I do it,
Wait, that song's
sound-
indie?
Yeah, that's.
I thought that song was folk.
That's how a lot of indie singers sing. They sing oppressy and nasal because it makes them hip and not a part of the conventional.
Yeah, I thought that song was folk.
I mean, it's I don't know. Let It Go with Passenger. I mean, it's a pop song with a folk, but more sort of trying to be indie folk again, like Bon Iver, but just with a much more mainstream progression, I guess.
Yeah, hipster culture is pretty. I mean, I'm not sure is it worse in the East or in the West, but I know in New York, hipster culture is really big. In like Brooklyn, it's really big.
It's very big here in Denver.
Because like
there are a lot of hipsters who moved to New York, especially
I know
Greenwich Village.
I know even like in black neighborhoods in Brooklyn, hipsters took over. Like where Jay-Z used to live at, it's not hipster there, where Jay-Z used to live at. Where Jay-Z grew up at is now hipsters now.
That's interesting. Yeah, part of Brooklyn.
Yeah. Like, Brooklyn used to be known as being like hood and like being ghetto, but now it's like hipster now. I mean, it's still ghetto.
I've never heard of a place that has gone from being ghetto hood to being not ghetto hood.
I mean, it's still hood in like some parts of Brooklyn, but like even like the hood parts of Brooklyn is now like hipster-fied, like Bed-Stuy, like places like that's known for like Spike Lee and Jay-Z and Chris Rock. That neighborhood just went hipster now, basically.
New York prides itself off from by going from dangerous to safe.
Yeah,
that's what they sort of pride themselves on. That they start that a few decades ago they were pretty dangerous. Now they're very safe.
Yeah, because of the crack epidemic. Yeah, it really hurt New York.
Yeah, but
and gang members they caused that too.
Well, gang wasn't really a problem in New York that much. I mean, it didn't become a problem until like Tupac, until around Biggie came around in the 90s.
I mean, the gang thing it particularly scarred California. I mean, the gang turfs and culture, it continues to exist to this day, even though the violence is way down. It's still just been an ongoing battle, and it's not going to change anytime soon. Not until at least the income inequality issue is taken care of. The police brutality issue is taken care of. I mean, these gangs, they have like very strong incentives for surviving because, I mean, it's people living on the fringe without many resources, trying to they just want to be able to survive, and they feel threatened by
but like then
the authority.
Then the leaders when the leaders died, that's when it kind of went just chaos. Like it started off protecting against cops. That's why gangster.
Yeah, but.
Another city I want to bring up. I brought up that this city, it despite being in Texas, is actually more liberal than Los Angeles. Austin.
Yeah, Austin's very liberal.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
I mean, I don't know if it would be more liberal than Los Angeles per se.
Well, I've looked up a statistic. It ranks cities.
I mean, again, it depends on what part of the city you're in. I mean, in Los Angeles, obviously, like the Hollywood area, that's very blue. But I guess if you go like way north in the San Fernando Valley, you might enter a redder territory, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
Well, yeah.
but really more like some of the cities in the greater Los Angeles area, like Glendora and San Dimas, for example, those are pretty Republican.
Yeah, but nerdy gamer.
What's up?
What was your experience like? What's like visiting Tennessee?
How was it? Wait, are you asking me how was it like?
Yeah, visiting Tennessee. Yeah, what was that like?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I went in the summer with my sister to visit our dad. One thing that is totally obviously different is the humidity. The humidity was like really, really high, and then what kind of like just it didn't scar me or anything, but I was like all of a sudden one day it was raining, and then all of a sudden the humidity was still there, so it was just like, oh wow, like it was like hot rain. And
Wow.
then not only that, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot of forest trees in. Well, I mean, I know it depends on where in Tennessee, because where I went when I went to visit our dad, we ended up getting off in Nashville at the airport, and yeah, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of forest trees.
Did you get a lot of bugs? Was it a lot of like mosquitoes?
No, I don't know. We didn't get a lot of mosquitoes or any kind of bugs because we weren't really outside like that, because the humidity was so high that it was just practically just burning.
Oh wow!
I mean, so we practically stayed inside the whole day most of the time. I mean, we did go out a few other times. Like we went to CC's Pizza. We went to Ryan's, which over here in San Diego. Although there's not that many locations left, it's over here. It's called Hometown Buffet. And then you went to my my stepmom's house as well, her parents. And then I have some and then I already told you guys in the last stream, I think, that I have some family members in Tennessee as well. So we went to go. Also, not only did we went to go see my dad and his wife, which was my stepmom at the time, but we went to go see his part of the family as well as my stepmom's as well. So I didn't. It's not like we stayed in the whole time, but yeah, we went out a little bit. We just couldn't do much because it was too hot.
Yeah, come from the West Coast. That's like kind of hard.
I mean, I understand it's hot here too, but it's not like super hot.
It's not humid.
Like, yeah, that's what we don't have. That's what we don't have. We have the hot heat, the temperature, but no, we don't. We have the cold humidity. That's for sure.
I might be scared of dry heat because I heard dry heat is like kind of worse because your skin can burn.
Yeah, I think that's what we. Oh, dry heat over here. Yeah, I think we have that.
Yeah, but Captain, is it dry or is it like is it dry where you're at? Because if you live in Colorado.
Yeah, it's pretty dry.
Because I heard once you get past the Great Plains, that's when it started to get. That's when arid. That's when it get more arid. Once you get in the plain states like Kansas, Nebraska, those places, that's where.
Oh yeah.
Humid, the dry.
Yeah, it's very dry, and it's also here in Aurora. It's very hot. It gets into the triple digits here, which is miserable.
Dang, that's like I heard Phoenix. That's normal. Like Phoenix, it's like it gets triple digits. Like goodness, a lot. Like 120 and stuff like that. Like ungodly type of.
I don't know how anyone could live there. To be honest,
I guess because Phoenix is like a desert. It gets hot, really hot in the day, but it gets super cold at night. I think that's why it's like that.
It doesn't get super cold at night. It would probably get to about 80.
It goes from like 100 to like 40 at night. It's like
you rely on your fans or air conditioners.
Yeah, but well, what's the highest San Diego's gotten? Like, you guys, nerdy Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Like I'm used to it getting like maybe a few degrees over 100.
Yeah.
I've only really ever seen it get to like 110 if I go further inland, like to Palm Springs, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also about the heat, because we unlike other states where they got a season every season and all that, we kind of don't have that here. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of cool weather and all, but there's been times where it has gone over, where the heat has gone over the season and all that kind of stuff. Like just last year, it was hot here I think from March all the way up to like I think October. Like, yeah, I'm not kidding. Like last October, it was still hot out of nowhere, even though the fall had already been here.
Dang.
Yeah, it was like 89. It was like 89 something in October of last year.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, it is kind of interesting. How the Pacific, works. It's like
Yeah, because we haven't. Because the thing is, the problem is that we have gotten so much sun, but we haven't got a lot of rain, and because of that, because we haven't got a lot of rain lately, as you know, that's practically what's making the temperatures go higher and higher and not keeping it down. And then also the fact that I don't know if you guys read because I don't know if you guys keep up with the news or anything, but here in California alone, I think, and maybe it's, and I'm not sure it's true for you guys as well, but over here alone, we've been experiencing a drought for the last few years, where it has now forced people to cut back on water use, like not just for like just to like clean your cars and all that, but also to like wash dishes, use how much water for your pot, also how long you should be taking showers. Like we have to cut back all of that because we've been experiencing a water drought for some time now.
yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I always want to know how the dry heat feels like for the humidity, Captain. Since you live, I mean,
Well,
the
I
dry
mean, pretty much
heat, the dry heat
pretty
is
much the
not
only-
that bad for something.
pretty much the only good thing about dry heat is that you could at least pour water on yourself to cool you off.
That's
but
true. That's true. Or you
The
can
only
eat ice
problem-
cream.
I mean, the only problem you do need a lot of the sunscreen though.
yeah, that's the one that I need
Like-
to think about because I do want to travel like the western U.S. United States, but I'm kind of scared of dry heat because I have asthma. I'm kind of scared of dry heat.
Is it wet? Is it wet heat in North Carolina?
Yeah, it's very humid here. Like, I sweat. I sweat like bullets when I'm outside sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sweat. You could sweat here too in dry heat, but the only way to really do that is like if you're going to like the beach or you're just constantly like exercising. That's like the only way to get a lot of sweat.
Yeah, you can just sweat just by walking.
Or you're just a sweaty person in general because that does tend to happen.
I usually I don't sweat unless I'm like outside for a long period of time. If I'm outside for a long period of time, then I start to sweat. So maybe that's probably gonna. But hopefully, but I would definitely like to visit. I would definitely like to visit like Diego. Because it seems nice and it seems. I mean, I heard Diego. I mean, like Jacqueline said, Diego's like less known in LA, so people think it's like nothing out there. I heard it's like more like family oriented than compared to like.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. There's literally a lot to CA than just Frisco, LA, Fresno. There's like way more to do in here. It's just that, like she said, most cities, even including San Diego, they tend to get overlooked, and then people just want to flock to LA, not just to visit, but even just, or just as I said, not just to live, but also to just not just to visit, but even just to live there.
True.
But yeah, there's a lot more.
Hollywood kind
Yeah,
of.
Yeah, even Orange County is way more famous in general than San Diego is.
Because the TV show, Real Housewives, Orange County.
Yeah, but it's like the stereotype of rich white Californians. It goes to Orange County and not San Diego, even though the two places are really not very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard San Diego's pretty good if you have kids. It's good with family, raising a family.
Yeah, it is. In general, it's a good place to raise family.
Yeah.
And we have mostly pretty good schools.
Yeah.
I'm also at Chula Vistas also.
Depending on also where you
Eastern
live.
Chula Vista, like east of the 805 in particular.
Yeah.
The western older part is more like, it's a little more like Logan Heights or San Isidro.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's yeah, but how's Denver? Is Denver pretty safe? Denver, Aurora, how's that area?
Well, it's safe if you're smart. I've actually noticed in some parts of Denver for a bit of graffiti, as well as some people living in these poor communities here in Denver.
Oh, okay.
Also, I don't know if this is true, but I heard something about a Mile High gang.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well.
But I'm sure pretty much every city is going to have its
Yeah.
bad parts.
Yeah. I can see that, but but Denver, it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it's not. I mean, usually cities where I mean, I hate to say it, but usually cities where like the highest crime rate, you tend to have the highest black people, highest percentage of African
Yeah.
Americans. These where have the highest crime rate, like Detroit.
Actually, when it comes to crime rate, you said about Denver. Actually, Aurora is where I live is actually more dangerous than Denver.
Oh snap! Oh well, I could see that the shooting.
In terms of what?
Crime.
I could see that because it was a mass shooting there, 2012.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there's also more crime in here in Aurora overall.
Oh right. Oh. Well.
Is it like more? But is it like violent crime or property crime? Because I took sociology, and my teacher backed it up with facts that the most crime that tends to happen is property crime.
My people.
I think maybe it makes it. Also, what you mentioned, Mario, about demographics, Aurora is also the most diverse city here in Colorado.
Oh okay. Oh okay. Well, that might be a big factor, but you know, I mean, again, but like it's good to know, so I know where I can what to look out for if I visit these places.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What were you guys just talking about? I was away for a minute.
Oh, you're saying I was talking about crime rate in Denver. Is it?
Yeah. Every place has its good and bad areas.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but I
true.
was mentioning earlier. Yeah, but I was mentioning earlier that cities with the highest crime rate tends to be the highest. These have a high concentration of like black people, like Detroit, for example, Baltimore. Cities like that usually what?
Yeah.
Cities like
actually,
that.
Oh,
well, I was saying the cities like that usually the ones that are like on the news about people killing each other and stuff like that a lot.
Yeah, the places with white flight.
Yeah.
I mean, like I mean, my college, Swarthmore, it's like right by another city that's notoriously dangerous that has a majority African American population. It's called Chester, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Oh yeah, because this. Oh yeah, I'm about to say because the Philly area has a lot of bad. Like Philly area, it's like a lot of like cities in Philly around Philly.
Camden, New Jersey is I heard this is the most dangerous. Like Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, Camden, New Jersey. That's one of the most infamously dangerous. But Chester, Pennsylvania, that actually does rank basically around the same danger level as Camden, New Jersey, or Compton, California.
And even got Wilmington, Delaware. That's another dangerous high crime small town and near to Philly.
Oh well, yeah.
Delaware. Yeah, so
yeah, Wilmington is like it's actually very close to Philly. It's it's a different state, but it's only like a half-hour drive.
Yeah, because I used to go Delaware a lot, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with that area. But yeah,
and, I want to say something about the whole crime thing. This is just like I said, this goes back to sociology, a class I took like 2 years ago and all. Now, a lot of the crime is committed because of it's because of four things. And I'm not sure if my teacher is correct because he's a sociologist, so he studies a lot of this. But can you correct me or him if I mention this? But he did say that the reason why there's a lot of crime that the most that commit the most is like young, poor minority males. I'm not sure if that's true.
Oh yeah,
or if he's true or he's right. But yeah, that's what he did say. Because he does a lot of research and all that, and that's not just a lot of research, but he also looks at a lot of statistics that other researchers or other data people have done, and that's where it tends to come out. It was a lot of young, poor minority males, and they're the ones who commit the most of the crime.
So yeah, it's a mix of anger and rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean the anger. It's just harder when you live in a culture that for so long has overlooked you so badly historically.
Yeah. But what was your experience like living in Philly? Was it?
I mean, I lived in a bubble. I lived in what they call the Swarthmore bubble, so pretty much mostly just my college town. Very occasionally took the train to downtown Philly, but I didn't really experience the city that much. I kind of avoided
because
seeing,
Philly is
like,
pretty
the parameter
different.
of that.
That's pretty like the old school blue collar northeastern type city. It's like it's like lots of Italians, a lot of Irish, German. It's like very like
Mhm.
classic northeastern type of city.
Yeah.
Row houses, row houses and stuff. You feel like you're in the 1700s because it's like all the like historical events happen like during the American Revolution in
The
Philly.
1700s feel actually you'll feel it more as you go
Yeah,
more western Pennsylvania, like where the Amish villages
yeah,
are.
yeah,
Huh.
yeah, and also Philly's also and is also known for like having his own slang. Like they say John a lot. John, that's what Rainbow says. John, Rainbow. They say John. They say not that's not water. What's that water? They say water.
Yeah.
Chimneys, for sprinkles.
Yeah.
Referring to subs as hoagies.
Yeah. But I'm kind of, but yeah, this kind of Philly. I mean, I heard it's kind of hipster, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was that hipster. I didn't think it had a hipster college though. I heard it was like little hipster, but it's not hipster like New York or like San Francisco level. But it's little hipster. I
think it's a bit. I think you might find that in every good city. Well, any good part of the city, but
yeah.
I don't think there's too much like Philadelphia is a very industrial.
Yeah, it's very like old classic, East Coast, blue collar city. So I would expect a large hipster population compared to like cities out west. I want to. But what about but we have but we have hipsters here. We're out in North Carolina, but
like in Charlotte.
Yeah, but they're not. But they're not. But they're more. But they're more lax. They're not as in your face like some like other parts of the country. Not as in your face because it's just like everybody's trying to live. It's just like live. It's not in your face type of hipsters. They're not.
Right.
They're not as obnoxious as other parts of the country.
Now, I want to say something about the hipsters. As of this conversation, are we talking about the attitude, or are we talking about the fashion? Because the one thing I didn't like about the hipster stuff, I didn't really like about a lot of the fashion they were wearing. That was probably
I was saying attitude, more like I was saying kind of both.
I don't like hipster fashion either.
Yeah, this is like skinny jeans and like
straw fedoras.
Yeah, kind of have the Yeah, I never really got. I mean, well, then again, I'm kind of chubby, so I could never really fit as a hipster anyway. I wouldn't fit as a hipster anyway.
Yeah,
I don't mind. I don't mind the attitude. It's good to be it just be the individual rather than following the crowd. But yeah, the fashion was just awful, honestly.
Well, they followed the crowd. They followed the crowd. They just pretend that they didn't follow the crowd.
I mean, when it comes to iPhones,
hipster is a culture in itself. Like they'll still like look down upon you if depending on your interest. Like they would look down upon me for liking S Club 7 or listening to Eurobeat music or just doing all sorts of silly things or not being a vegan, stuff like that.
And not just that, but also the fact that I was also looking a little bit about hipsters as well, is that as soon as they discover this band, they're into it, but as soon as they become mainstream, they just throw them away and just move on, acting like they never heard of them at all. And
yeah, that's
I used to listen to them when they were independent. Now they're just mainstream. They're just some garbage. That's
like the ultimate proof that they aren't appreciating anything objectively. They want to appreciate something just for the sake of having like ownership of
I was there first.
Can brag about I knew these guys before they were popular or whatever.
Yeah,
or
that's the thing.
Or I like this band that nobody else likes. I mean, that's like, why does that have to be the reason you appreciate something? Like, I'm probably one of I'm one of very, very, very few people in the United States who listens to and loves Eurobeat music, but I'm not going to just brag to everybody that I listen to a type of music that nobody else is aware of or gets. I mean, I listen to it because it offers something that other types of music can't, and that I just really cling to and love. It puts me in a good mood. I don't care about being like above anybody else. I mean, yeah, my appreciation of Eurobeat, it's a huge part of what it's a part of my identity, I guess, but it's not something that I use just to reign superiority over anybody.
By the way, about this stream, there's any more topics you want to talk about? Like, I'm sorry for wrapping it up early, but I'm also so feeling a bit like been feeling a bit sick lately.
Oh.
Is there any more things you want to talk about?
Oh, hold on, guys. Oh, one thing to talk about is, well, I know kind of touching this. I mean, we could I mean, I know we mainly talk about where we live at, as far as like locations. But we talk about like, a different we can talk about different accent. Well, I know.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that would be that's a good idea because I was looking at this particular thread. I'm not sure what it was called, but I forgot the title already. But they were talking about the different accents between like New York and Jersey and some others, all that kind of stuff. That would be nice because now a lot of people don't realize that California does have its accent and its own slang, but it's not all just surf talk. I mean, there's like different kinds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I myself am guilty of using words such as like and totally all the time. Like I do my manner of speaking is definitely influenced by vowel speak, but I'm at the same time I don't know. I'm kind of an interesting case because my dad grew up primarily on the East Coast and has a very strong East Coast accent. I feel like he partially influenced the way I speak. And so, I mean, I guess there is more of a little more of a firmness in my voice, but it can also waver into the vowel speak as well. So
yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's a little inconsistent, and I mean, it can be a little hard to get a full grasp of a certain region's accent just because you might have people who grew up in different parts of the country.
Yeah, because you do sound kind of valley, but not like the typical like Paris Hilton type of valley, not the typical what you see in Hollywood type of valley.
Or not like Cher from Clueless. I'm totally clueless.
Like my accent. Well, my accent is kind of unique because again, I'm originally from NY, so my accent I do sound kind of New York. Some of my speech patterns I do sound could come kind of like New York area ish. Like I say water. I say water instead of water. I say sometimes I say coffee quite a bit. But like but I have picked up some like slang in like North Carolina, like how can I say like bruh, like cuzzo. I feel some slang here, but like I mostly use like New York slang. I say like mad. I say like oh man, like I say like store. All right, so like somehow, so like if you say you sound like where you from, and that's I'm like oh okay, I can see that 'cause you got an accent. I'm like really? I mean I don't really. I mean granted, I mean I don't really see myself having a strong accent because I know my family because like people like around New Yorkers, like people who live in New York, I'm like dang, you guys got a strong accent, but then but when I tell people here where I'm from, they're like, "Oh man, you kind of have an accent." I'm like, okay. I just never really thought myself had an accent until a few years ago. What about my Catherine's accent is kind of twangy.
Yeah.
like he said, I'm like, wow, Captain, your accent's kind of swanky to be from to live in Colorado.
Well, I said I was born in North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Again,
makes
that's what matters.
Did you lose your accent over the years, Captain?
Probably did. Yeah, I did.
You did? Oh, that's what happened to one of my teachers too. When I was in college, I had a teacher that was from Tennessee, and she had moved to California to become a teacher. Well, she was already a teacher, but she had moved to California to work at the school that I graduated from back in 2000. But yeah, she said she was from Tennessee, and I asked her did she lose her accent because that's where she was, because she was from Tennessee, and she said yeah, she has lost it over the years. Like she don't even have it anymore. She sounds like it seems like she had been living here for years and all that. Yeah, she ended up losing her Tennessee accent over the years.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess it depends on your parents and then where you live at, and that's how you develop your accent, I guess. Yeah, but
Anyway,
but does California also have the I know Valgar Rapids is famous in Southern California, but aren't you guys also known for like what's kind of like how can I say this um what kind of like how can I say this like and I know people from like the like Watts. I mean, this is more like LA thing, I guess. But like people from like LA kind of have their own like way of talking, like the black people in LA have their own way of talking. You see, like for sure, for shizzle, they say horde a lot. They say 40 a lot, 40, horde. They have their own way of talking to horde. Like
yeah, I think I guess that type of slang probably it's more common in like California and black communities, like the Snoop speak, I guess.
Yeah, horde for shit. Yeah, horde.
Snoop. Like you don't hear it quite as much in East Coast hip hop, for example.
I know Frisco. They speak. They got their own way. So they say hella. Like I want to say like hella.
Hella is like more of that's a Northern Cali thing. I don't hear anybody ever. I mean, the only person I ever hear that most of the time is from my cousin, but that's because well, he's from here, but he went to Northern Cali for quite some time, and he went to we have a Pittsburgh here in California, and that's where his dad is living currently right now, and he had got it from him, and then when he came back down here, that's actually when he started saying it. So yeah, that's the only time I hear it from hella is from him most of the time.
Yeah, they said hella. I'm so juiced. Like yeah, they got a lot of slang words. I'm like, wow. But like a lot of people from here say Bay Area words. People from here, like 3,000 miles away, say barrier terms. I'm like, really? People here say hella. I'm like, wow. People actually say hella. It's crazy how hella's become like a nationwide term now.
And then we have one, and this is not particularly slang, but we got something that is particular to this state alone, and I'm not sure if it's just exclusive to Southern Cali, but when it comes to freeways, we don't actually say 5 or I-5 or anything. We just say the 805, the 15, the 130, the 805, the
5.
We say that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I want you guys to know for like the surfer talk, like, dude, that's totally awesome. That totally rocks, man.
Yeah, that's true, but it depends. But yeah, I don't really hear much. I mean, that is true, but I don't hear much of that. I mean, people will obviously say, dude. I mean, that's practically like the universal word right there that everybody practically says no matter what. But I don't hear much of the other surfer talk compared to like other like. I mean, it still depends on where you are though. But yeah, I hear a little bit of it though.
Oh, really? Oh. I guess it depends on the social, economic, social demographic. Like if you're around, like that's a very depends on like a certain clique. I guess everybody. I guess the accent in like Cali depends on like type of person. Like if you're like a certain type of person and type of ethnic group, your accent kind of reflects that. Like I guess. I mean, it's kind of like that in New York, I guess, because because New York accents, you have the Italian, the typical old school Italian New York accent. You have the more hip hop type of talk in New York. You have the more you have the Puerto Rican, talk. So it kind of, I guess, depends on like ethnicity and like and what type of like lifestyle what type of like subculture you're in, kind
Yeah.
of way of speaking.
It really does go back to one's lifestyle, because
Yeah.
because depending on where you live, you might not be interested in that kind of culture or that you see around you, and instead you might be interested in something else.
There's in California, there's enough like Mexican slang, like after like Chicano
Yeah,
talk,
I
like
think
that Mexican slang.
I think so. Yeah, because there's a lot. I mean, I'm not sure if it's unique in everywhere else, and I haven't heard this lately, but I think a lot of Mexicans, I believe, still say essay, and then sometimes they may say fool, because I hear a lot of them here say that too. So.
What about
Anyways,
you, Captain? What about you,
I think
Captain?
we end the stream right here. I have to end the stream right here.
What about you, Captain?
Okay. Yeah.
Does
All right.
Mexicans in Colorado say like essay? Talk like
I think I've heard some of them say that, but it's
Like
not too ubiquitous here.
Oh, it's not like in
Anyways.
I guess.
It's been a good stream.
All right, Captain.
Yeah, it's been a great stream.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right,
Hope to do this
awesome.
sometime.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Have a